The movie begins with Iris, a night shift guard at a sports complex, preparing for her shift. She is enjoying time with her friend, Nikki, until they hear a knock at the door. Nikki checks and departs after discovering Iris's daughter, declining to babysit her as she has a date. Iris greets her child, Tata, who appears upset as Iris explains she must go to work tonight. She insists she's glad to have her but can't risk losing her job. Iris speaks to her husband, Javi, while Tata secretly overhears their discussion. Iris tells Javi about her shift, but he urges her to bond with their daughter. Javi hands Tata her skateboard, and before he leaves, Iris asks how long Tata will stay. He mentions his exams, stating she'll remain until they're over. Hit that like button so fast, it'll think it's in a race with Usain Bolt. And subscribe, because let's be real, your YouTube homepage is lonely without us. Don't make it cry. Back to story. Later, Iris approaches Tata, asking if she'd like to see where her mother works, and they head out. They soon arrive at the Neptune Club, and Tata is stunned to learn her mother guards this massive facility alone. She questions whether Iris is scared to be by herself there, but Iris responds that her father taught her to fear nothing. She shares a story about how her father used to leave her alone in a field filled with venomous snakes. She remembers staying there, clutching a stick. Iris retrieves some basketballs and invites Tata to play. Suddenly, she receives a call and informs Tata that she must resume her rounds, or her bosses will assume she's asleep. Before leaving, Iris hands Tata a radio communication device, instructing her to call if she needs anything, and points out the cameras, assuring her she'll keep an eye on her. Iris heads to the control room, watches Tata playing, and leaves for her rounds. Shortly after, the lights go out, and Tata, frightened, contacts Iris. Iris tells her she's already on her way to fix the issue and advises Tata to picture herself in her favorite place, explaining that she used to imagine herself at her hairdresser while standing in the snake-infested field. Iris restores the lights, calming Tata slightly. Moments later, Tata reveals that today is the birthday of her late younger brother, Nico. She adds that she imagined herself at the beach with Nico, which deeply saddens Iris, causing her to disconnect and telling Tata to call her back. Meanwhile, Iris continues her rounds and spots a man assaulting another outside. She contacts the police but gets no response. She rushes to inform David, but he dismisses it as a typical fight between addicts, though he advises her to lock the doors. Frantic, Iris hurries to secure the entrance, but the CCTV footage reveals a man sneaking into the building. Click like if you're enjoying this video, and subscribe if you want your future self to thank you for the endless entertainment. Iris returns to check on Tata but can't find her where she left her. She calls out for her daughter but gets no reply. Suddenly, Iris notices a man infected with a mysterious virus approaching her. She tries to stop him, but the man attacks. Iris manages to knock him down using Tata's skateboard and flees the scene. After catching her breath, Iris considers calling David for help but is horrified to discover he's dead. She dashes to the control center and checks the CCTV, hoping Tata is safe. Fortunately, she spots her in a room and notices a phone inside. Iris calls the number, and when Tata answers, she guides her to the keys and lock in a nearby column. She instructs her to secure the door and not open it unless she hears a specific knock pattern. Iris then sees the infected man nearby and hides. The man enters the control room and, despite his condition, searches the cupboard, showing signs of intelligence. Iris hides under the table, holding her breath. Suddenly, a cat appears, startling Iris. Tragically, the man attacks and brutally kills the cat. Seeing the man motionless, Iris sneaks out. She checks the camera feed and sees Tata has locked the door, though an infected woman is banging on it. Still, Tata is safe inside, giving Iris momentary relief. What do you think? Will Iris be able to find and save Tata from the apocalypse? Stay connected till the end to find the answers. Back to story. Next, she observes the infected man sitting still after killing the cat. She checks another camera and notices the same behavior in the man outside. Both men remain motionless for exactly 32 seconds. Cautiously, Iris moves forward, using tennis balls to test her path. Despite her care, an infected attacks her, but a mysterious stranger rescues her. She runs to the swimming pool and jumps into the water. The infected follows. Iris panics as the man approaches, but her savior reappears and calms her until the infected collapses. Once the danger passes, the man introduces himself as Lise, explaining he's healthy because the infected have scars on their hands. Iris tells him she needs to find her daughter, and Luis agrees to assist her in exchange for a favor. He explains that he was heading to the hospital with his wife for her delivery when they crashed into this building. He requests her help with the birth. Along the way, Iris hesitates, claiming she knows nothing about deliveries, but Luis reassures her, stating he understands the theory and will guide her. He needs her assistance because the infected might attack them during the process. He takes her to the spot where he's hidden his wife, Mimi. As Iris approaches, she's shocked to discover Mimi is infected. She tries to flee, but the door is locked. Luis calms her, though Iris insists Mimi is infected. Luis hopes the infection might fade in hours, days, or even weeks. He asks Iris if she'd abandon Tata if she became infected. Hearing the name, Iris is stunned, as she never told Luis her daughter's name. She questions him about Tata, and Luis assures her she's safe but will only reveal her location if Iris helps him. Still, Iris grabs a screwdriver and attempts to attack him, but Luis grabs her by the neck. He calmly warns her that it's him, and if she threatens his family, he'll have no choice but to kill her. Iris reluctantly agrees to help. Later, as they head to a safer spot, Iris pauses and notices someone. She rushes over to find Javi, injured and breathing his last. Heartbroken, Javi tells Iris it wasn't her fault that Nico drowned in the pool. Iris breaks down, confessing it was her idea and that her distraction led to Nico's death. Despite this, Javi forgives her and urges her to take care of Tata before passing away. Meanwhile, Luis notices the infected have surrounded them and urges Iris to pull herself together. He explains he can't open fire as the noise would attract more attention. As the infected close in, Iris comes up with an idea and pulls out smoke bombs from her bag. Suddenly, the entire hall fills with smoke, and the infected wander aimlessly. Luis shields Iris but gets overwhelmed. Fortunately, Iris manages to escape the smoke safely. She notices an infected approaching Mimi and senses the baby inside her is still alive. The infected prepares to harm the baby, but Iris distracts it. Just then, Luis arrives, brutally kills the infected, and rushes to the pharmacy with Iris and Mimi in tow. Soon, they reach the pharmacy, and Luis ties Mimi to the bed, preparing for the delivery. He sterilizes his hands and is ready to deliver the baby but panics. He forces Iris to do it instead. Reluctantly, she delivers the baby, who turns out to be healthy. Luis is relieved, wraps the baby, and hands Mimi a pigeon to calm her. He places the baby beside her, insisting skin-to-skin contact is necessary. Iris tries to stop him, but Luis ignores her. Suddenly, the lights flicker, and when Luis regains his senses, he finds Mimi and the baby gone. Terrified, Iris and Luis search for the baby and eventually find Mimi holding him. Mimi is harming the child, and Luis pleads, saying he's her son. As Mimi is about to kill the baby, Luis shoots her. After saving his child, Luis tells Iris that Tata is in the boiler room. Iris rushes there and finds Tata's cast. She spots a little girl's body inside the boiler and breaks down, assuming it's Tata. Iris stands up, picks up a gun, and considers ending her life. Overwhelmed by despair, she suddenly notices the red fingerprint scanner lighting up, signaling that someone unauthorized has attempted to access it. She follows the trail of red scanners and eventually arrives at a locked room. She knocks in the specific pattern she had taught Tata. To her relief, Tata opens the door and embraces her mother. Tata tells her how Luis protected her and mentions that a man and his daughter joined them. However, the infecteds attacked, and the father failed to save them, resulting in the infecteds burning his child. Iris comforts her, explaining her plan to reach the docks by car, as the infecteds cannot swim. Tata asks about her father, and Iris promises to explain everything once they're safe. As they cautiously move forward, the infected watch them through CCTV footage. Later, Iris senses the infected nearby, and the duo hides in restrooms, where they spot numerous rats. Iris states the corridor is their only way out and sets a piece of cloth on fire to scare the rats away. The infecteds attack the rats and hibernate, allowing Iris to lead Tata out. Iris carefully attempts to sneak past, keeping track of the 32-second intervals, but a zombie grabs Tata's hand. Iris tries to shoot it, but the gun is empty. Suddenly, all the infecteds wake up, but Iris fights them off and rescues her daughter. They try to escape, but the zombies close in from all sides. Despite this, Iris and Tata manage to slip out of the club through the crashed ambulance, trapping the infected inside. They reach Javi's car, and Iris covers the windows with a white cloth before the zombies break free. Moments later, the infected escape and chase the car, only to find it empty. Meanwhile, Iris and Tata are seen in the sewers, avoiding the zombies. Suddenly, Iris finds Luis, injured and with his son. As she approaches, Luis pleads with her to save his child if he doesn't survive. Iris is overcome with emotion when the zombie, tracking them via CCTV, appears. Tata is terrified, but Iris instructs her to run once the noise stops. Iris confronts the infected, but he slams her aside. Tata covers her ears as the infected brutally attacks her mother. Once the infected finishes, he sits still to recharge. Instead of fleeing, Tata approaches her mother, who pleads with her to leave before it's too late. Tata grabs a nail gun and aims it at the infected's head. She closes her eyes, picturing herself with her family at the beach they once visited when Nico was alive. Tata reopens her eyes and kills the infected. She embraces her mother as they realize Luis has died. Iris rescues his son, and the trio makes their way to the docks. Later, the camera focuses on the infected who collapsed in the pool. He suddenly revives, proving Luis wrong about the infected not surviving in water, leaving Iris's future uncertain.